Hey everybody, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Full Q developer and I love making apps. I love the creative process. I love the technical process. I love making pretty code and now more recently, I love sharing that with all of you. So thank you so much for joining. It's been a blast. Uh, we've been working on my Subway app the past few days uh, called Underway. It's in the App Store already um, for iOS and for Android. And the feature that we've been working on is we're adding path arrivals to Android. Path, of course, is a light transit in between New York and New Jersey. Um, and so we're adding it to the to our Subway app. And we have it running here in the emulator. Um, so we already implemented this on iOS, and now we're bringing it to Android. Not sure when this is going to release quite yet because we're still in the depths of working on it. Here's kind of the cue for what we're planning on today. We need to have settings to enable and disable this. We want to filter taps on the map so that once it's enabled or disabled, you don't accidentally tap on the wrong station. It also works with the locate me as well. And then finally, we want to make the API call to get these times showing up on the screen. And of course, as always, feel free to drop any questions in the chat. And if you like what you see, please like, comment, or subscribe, etc., etc. It's really appreciated. I love sharing my process with you all, and liking or whatever lets me know that you're out there and watching. It's not just talking to to myself in a room, which is also cool. That's what I'd be doing anyway if I weren't streaming, just doing this alone in a room. Um, so with all that said, let's head over to our settings screen and let's go ahead and enable or disable the path stuff. So let's close the open tabs. I call it settings. Settings activity. Let's see, let's make the emulator a little bit smaller and let's hide the output there. Let's see, so the settings activity just loads a settings fragment. Okay, that's familiar. And the settings fragment, the preference fragment component. Oh, so we can clean up some imports. So what else? So we have the dock position, which is right now I have it on the right side. I can set it to the left side. And if I go back, dock's on the left side. And the refresh rate, and then help. So where would this go? Maybe between the dock position and the auto refresh rate. I guess it is like a setting. And let's see. I guess that would be right here. And when we did this on iOS, we saved a set of enabled transit systems. And I'm going to try to take that approach here. Once we open the box of adding one more additional transit system to our Subway app, I feel like you can see the future, although the future is never promised, that, there's LIRR, there's MNR, there's NJT that are just ready and waiting to jump in the fray here as well. Let's see, so do we have a set type in Kotlin? We do. We do not yet have our transit system. Let's go ahead and define that. And we'll make this be an enum class. Let's see, and then we can have all the NYCT for the subway, and we called it path for the path. The Port Authority transits and trains. And thing here, it wants. I was suggested or no? Let's start with a capital letter. Okay. Make these capitalized, I guess. Cool. So then what? So then I guess your preferences get string. Anything other than a string we can get there. We can get a string set. That's interesting. I wonder if this is. Is this what I want? Oh, and I guess we need a preference key for it. Let's define a companion object. Val preference key. Guess I can look at the other, what did I call this? Stock position preference. I guess I underscored it. Yeah, let's keep that convention. Okay, so now if we say transit system that preference key, and then I think we put the default here. I guess we should also define a default. And how did I do that for transit system? I made it private. That's interesting. I don't think it should be private because right here, I would want to say position that private dot raw value, I guess. This could probably be cleaned up a touch here. It's kind of explicit. Um, yeah, I made this a sealed class, right? Because it has multiple things on it. Position dot left dot description, and then I guess the same thing for right. This feels a little verbose. kind of want to make like my own like all all cases, which I don't think we get for free using sealed classes. I guess the alternative would be to try to make this a new class. Um, that's getting like a little too far out of the way. I want to clean this up just a little bit and stay on course. Uh, you know me, I love to I love getting distracted. Wait, this is an array of. Okay, so let's use array of, not array list of. So then here, this really verbose thing, this simplifies. Instead of that business, the doc position, all cases, and then we can map and get the description. Oh, but map returns an array? Man, why is array and list so different in Kotlin? Um, okay, well, I guess they made it easy to convert it back, so go ahead and do that. Okay, so we cleaned up that a little bit of a side quest. Now let's go back to our transit system thing. Here I wanted to provide the default value. I guess I'll call it default set, um, to sort of signify that this is a set, not just a single value. There a set of, there is set of transit system NYCT. Yeah, I guess it'll just be NYCT. So why is this side gray and this side red? Okay, so I guess it needs to be explicit here. And then this is implied, I guess. Might be const. Yes, it is a const. How did you know? This is also a const. Well, what does const actually do? Only primitives and strings are allowed. Oh, okay. Whatever, Kotlin. Wait, why does this need to be mutable? I thought I had this downloaded already. Um, let's look at some documentation perhaps on this. String set. Oh, it auto completes. Yeah, so this does not retrieve a set of strings from the preference. Note, you must not modify the set instance returned by this call. The consistency of the stored data is not guaranteed if you do, nor is your ability to modify the instance at all. Why does this need to be mutable? Can I do a mutable set of? I guess not. um, set of var args. Um, it's just a get. I'm not sure why this needs to be mutable. Um, oh, what is fired a mutable set? Found a set. Well, yeah. Can I init a mutable set? Well, I guess this has to be the string versions anyway. Um, let's not sweat. Let's not sweat too much over this. Not sure. Um, Definitely want to clean this up. Not right now. Let's keep on going. Um, let's make a transit system reference. Um, it's a switch preference. And then I guess here we do like is enabled or is disabled. guess I don't have a switch preference. I need to look up how to do that. Yeah, that's what I'm using. I don't know why if it's deprecated, it's still the top hit. Like this is from Google. Let's see what this looks like. And what else can we configure on this thing? But let's just take a look at this. Let's rebuild the app. Oh, I forgot to add it. Um, Settings category dot add preference systems preference. Yes. That'll do. Um, Although I guess the switch preference, it doesn't look like we have a nice callback the way we do on iOS. Um, because I want to save it actually as a set of enabled or disabled items. And looks like this is only a Boolean. Let's see, there's got to be a way to call back, right? Yeah, so I can get a listener. Yeah, this is where I updated everything. I think it's going to still stick a Boolean in here, though. I guess for now, I could just, to make it easy, I could just have it be a Boolean in the preferences, and later, if and when we do add other transit systems, uh, we kind of take care of that then. Um, Maybe that's okay. It would be nice to not have to do a migration since we kind of know kind of the direction here. We know all the transit systems that exist in New York. We can kind of see what might be coming down the line. I mean, the other option is to make it look like make it look like the dock preference where it sort of comes up like this. Yeah, sometimes it stops updating. We go and come back. Oh, we got a crash. Why are you up in the sky? Boolean cannot be cast to Java. Yeah, okay. Yeah, there's a there's a Boolean in here now. Um, sorry, Boolean in here. Yeah, just for how tied Android makes it. Yeah, let's not use a switch. Let's see if we can use a multi-select. And let's see, multi-select list preference. Here we go. Then does this have an entries? Yes. So this will be, I guess, transit system values dot, I guess, map. And this is uh, the description goes in entries. So we'll need to add that string in. This is going to be a two-typed array. It'll do for entry values, which are the raw values. Transit, NYC transit systems to include. And let's go ahead and write this description and take it from there. I'll make this a val as well. From the Cedar list says, hi. Hey, how's it going? We're doing good. We're doing good. We're working on Android today. Go ahead and see what this looks like. How's your app coming along? Wait, are we crashing on startup or something? Not be cast. So do I need to like delete the app just to reset the preferences? Why is it saying the application could not be installed? I need to try again, or is it stuck? Let's go ahead and retry. Ron says, I took a break. Oh, right on. Taking breaks is also important. I'm learning core data, says Franz, and it seems a little tricky. Yeah, I am not a fan of core data. There are other options like BRDB I recommend wholeheartedly. And my emulator has fallen apart. um, you write the name. Yeah. I've used this. I use this in the iOS version of this app, and I've used it on client apps, and I've used it in many apps, and it works very nicely with SwiftUI as well. So, highly recommend this package for SQLite. And we are still fussing with our emulator. Emulator. Do we have to just quit the whole Android Studio? Okay, let's try building. Looks like it built successfully. Maybe. Let's try running in the emulator. Command cannot find service package. What the? I haven't run into this error before yet on Android. Fran says, I'm not sure how I can upgrade myself. When I'm looking works on Upwork, there's a huge space in my mind and knowledge. Yeah, there's always more to learn. There's always more to learn. There's always someone that knows more than you. And usually, there's always someone that knows less than you. I'm not sure what's going on with my emulator. So what happened? I deleted the app or to reset the preferences, and then I ran the app again, and now I'm getting this error. I guess we can Google for this error. React Native runs into this. Not your fault. The problem is the functionality of the emulator. So close the emulator, go to AVD Manager and edit virtual device. Okay. Close the emulator. and go to AVD Manager. AVD tools. I think it's Device Manager. How do I change to cold boot? Cold boot. Do I need to like hit save or something somewhere? Doesn't seem like it. So let's try it again. Now I can't find my main activity. Um, this is very strange. Rebuild the app. How do I do a clean project? Okay, it looks like that succeeded. Make project. Alok in chat asks, "Hi, are you using old XML or new Jetpack Compose for UI?" I'm not really using Jetpack Compose quite yet. I work on the iOS version a lot more than the Android version, so I never got around to upgrading it yet. But it does look nice. Right now we're having trouble running our app on the emulator. It was working a few moments ago. And because we're live or whatever, emulator is acting up. Right now we're just adding a preference to enable or disable the path trains. Franz also says, I can make really nice UI things with Swift UI. Seems everybody can do that. Yeah, I like to say, there's already been thousands and thousands of love songs written, but that hasn't stopped any artists from still writing yet another love song. There will always be more to say when it comes to love, and that's how I feel about creative things. Just because an idea has been done before, um, it doesn't really mean all that much. I mean, it means a lot, but but don't let that stop you, I guess. And I guess we're just waiting for the emulator to spin, spinning very slowly. But I guess no error yet. We successfully built. I guess we just switched to cold boot because that's what the Stack Overflow suggested. Well, while we wait for the emulator, what's everybody else working on today? And I wish it gave just a little bit more information about what's going on here. It says it's disconnected. Oh, we have something going on. What's going on here? Bruce Leaf says there's a big bad bug at work. Oh yeah. Is it the server side fault or is it the I mean it's always the team. Um, I just say that in a joking manner. Welcome back to the stream, Bruce Leaf. This is very verbose and I don't see what is happening. Successfully kill the process. Bruce Leaf says, haha, client issue. Last not found. None of this really looks all that promising. Looks like it's going in circles. Maybe we'll try rebooting. Um, but now we got the same error as before. Oh my goodness. Android, please. I guess we can try creating a new emulator. I guess device manager, create device, XL. Sure, sure. Oh, and let's change it to cold boot while we're here. And let's try running it on this new, I almost called it a simulator, this new emulator. Close the device manager. And let's head over to Logcat. Let's see what we get. Now it's starting the app. Okay. Okay. Well, I guess it's working now. What we have to do is create a new emulator. Um, I've definitely done that before while working on Android, where emulator would conk out, and I could not figure out how to get around it. I ended up just creating a new emulator. Um, don't do what I do, kids. Description. Oh, these are strings. So we need to uh, convert these strings to the transit system and then get the description from it. Raw value equals. Oh, we have multiple iterator values here. Okay. I guess we have to be a little less fancy. Let's take it not all on one line. I guess given a set, um, we want to show which ones are enabled. So these are strings, I guess. We want to convert these to transit systems, right? Um, I guess here we could say let's see, here we want to iterate transit system values find am I doing this wrong? How do I use map? Once a question mark, that's fine. Does it not want a question mark? Okay, I just had it in the wrong spot. And I want to make a set out of these things, I think. And what is the error here? Type mismatch. Found optional transit systems required. I guess non-optional transit systems. But I guess we need to. Is there like a compact map in Android? Maybe they call it flat map. Let's see. I guess I can just Google for this. Kotlin compact. Map not null. All right, that sounds familiar. Here we go. Now it found an optional set, and here we can. This one's easy. Is it? I think the equivalent to question mark in Swift is question mark colon in Kotlin. So I think this would be transit system dot default set. Yeah, there we go. So then we want to get then to display the currently enabled transit systems. We can map it.description and then join to string separated by a comma. And let's rerun that and see what we got. Oh, so I guess there's like three names. There's like long names and uh, this looks this is a little too much for the setting. So we can have a long description. Then in the preferences, we can show the long description in the pop-up that shows up, but otherwise we'll show the short description. Cool, there we go. So we have transit systems path NYCT. Then we can disable them, and it does not update automatically. So we need to set that up. And we do that down here at the bottom. We have a listener that listens for changes to the shared preferences, and it updates the strings. This would be new transit systems equals. Oh, I have a little load helper. I guess I should do that for the transit system as well. Yeah, so let's copy that. We even have like a little parse method. And this is, I guess, that method that we just wrote. Where is it? Kind of. Yeah, it's kind of all this stuff. This we can move into the transit system companion object to make this reusable. And just want to inline itself? Sure, go ahead. Cool. Cool. Then I guess what's next? Yeah. After we load it, we want to update the title and the summary, I suppose. And this maybe we want to convert to a string. We can say, I think it's curly braces. Yeah, new transit systems dot, and then that little number that we wrote up here. Yeah, I really miss having extensions in Kotlin. Like I want to make an extension on a set of transit systems that will get like the comma separated list all at once. I could make a method on transit system to format itself, but right now I'm only using it twice, so I'm going to copy paste. Okay, how does that look? Changes were not applied. Oh, it wants me to rebuild. I'm gonna ask again. Now, if we add the checkbox for the subway, updates and both show up. We take off path. It did not update. Why did it stop updating? Yeah, I think I'm making this a little too complicated on myself. Um, I don't want them to be able to uncheck the subway. Not yet, anyway. While that's still like the main reason why people are downloading this app is to check the subway path they're adding on as a nice little addition, and we'll continue to build from there. Um, I'm tempted to go back just to like storing a Boolean value um, as a preference because yeah, this is getting a little spicy. But even all that aside, like it seems to only update once and then stop. Is that true of the other ones? Everything has seemed to stop. Uh, that is how come this only fires once? And if I go back into preferences, update it, turn from left to right, go back to left, it updates, move path, updates, change it to right, it stops updating. So it seems whenever we save the transit system once, uh, it, the listener stops getting notifications. That's super weird to me. Maybe we can Google for that. We've been having this problem since 2014. Oh yeah. Make sure you keep a reference to the listener. Oh, that's straightforward. And that makes a lot of sense. Okay, so I want to save it. Does this return a reference? And this returns void. Um, let's see. Where do I want to store this? I guess I'm kind of cheating a little bit. I keep references to the settings uh, all inside this create function. So perhaps I need to save strong references to these preferences as well. Let's see. Our position preference. late in it. Position preference equals. Okay, so this is fine. We can work with this. So let's go back to saving a strong reference to the preference change listener. And the type of that is this mouthful. Reference. That was a weird autocomplete. Reference listener. And then down here, create it. Let's say, can this be initialized as a lambda? I feel like it might be able to. Let's copy the innards over and see if that makes the compiler happy or sad. It's looking a little sad right now. Okay. Let's do this for real. I want to say like dot init like we would do in Swift. Oh, then we pass the function into here. Okay. Right? Lambda argument should be moved out of parentheses. Okay. Okay, so that's pretty close to what we had before. I guess it just needed this type. Then let's register it and let's save it. This dot preference listener equals preference listener. And then we will need to yeah, have strong references to well, I guess actually these should probably be weak references. Otherwise, we might have a retain cycle. Let's do strong references first and show that it works, and then convert it to weak references if we show that that worked okay. Actually, let's just see what happens now that we have a strong reference to the listener, that the listener doesn't disappear anymore. Start the app, go to preferences, switch it to left, it updates, switch it to right, it updates, left, switch right, and then let's updating this is what caused it to stop listening before. Updated it once. Let's see, is it still listening? Take off NYC. Okay, we have traction. That was the solution. I guess let's upvote that answer. Thanks for the feedback. You need 15 reputation. Oh, I made a new Stack Overflow account today for my streaming, and it doesn't have enough reputation to upvote. Okay, so we solved the one issue. Now I guess like going back to the usability issue, you don't want to allow people to don't want to allow people to unsubscribe from the subway just yet, although we may in the far future. So should this be a Boolean? That would make our lives really easy right now. At some point, there would be a integration we would have to do, I suppose. Um, yeah, so let's put a commit point here. We can come back to it if we change our minds. Um, let's explore what it would be like to use just a straight Boolean there. I guess we don't have to push it just yet. Um, let's see, is there any way to sort of limit which ones we on this multi-select? Is there a way to sort of limit what we can edit? Classes deprecate. Maybe we can subclass this two-state preference. Oh, this one's bound to a Boolean value. Hmm. Booleans. I guess. I guess. So there's nothing to load then. I mean, it makes it like super easy. Path arrival stations with path trains. Um, yeah, it's become so simple. Maybe that's fine for right now. Let's go ahead and what do we need to do? Um, I guess we can make it a specific preference key just for path enabled. That way, this preference key is still around for when we do the migration, when we start adding more and more transit systems. What's going to happen in the future? Nobody knows. Is enabled preference key, I guess. Yeah, I think this is kind of the way to go for now. I don't want to fight um I don't want to fight the Android preference system too much. And look at look at how simple that is. Okay. Uh cool. um yeah, that's so simple. Okay. Um we'll use Boolean. You can just say the name of the key, I guess. Uh, at now. And I suppose we can clean up all that other stuff since it's not used right now. Or do you want to keep it around? I'm not decided yet, so I'll leave it for now. So I guess we can check off that the first task for today. Um, we ran into the emulator issues. Uh, we explored multi-select, and finally decided to stick with the Boolean. We wanted to convert a Boolean uh, in the UI to a set in the preferences, like we do for the iOS version. That allows a clear path forward without requiring any kind of migration. Um, but the Boolean preference key is just so straightforward on Android, it kind of seems worth it. So we put it in a separate key, um, and we'll use that to go forward. So the next task is filtering taps on the map. So right now, I can crash the app by hitting back and clicking on the Christopher Street stop for path. Um, and we need to so this is actually, I was not expecting this crash here actually. Um, actually, that's not the crash I was expecting. Let's ooh, I need to start it in debug mode so that I can hit my breakpoint. Let's see what is going on. Waiting for debugger. Okay, so if I tap on the path Christopher Street stop, left and right are both null. That is unexpected. Let's look at the database. So we ship a database of static data with the app. Um, and that we have the stop ID number 499. It's going to be all the way at the end. Let's just sort it backwards. So there are there in the database. Oh, I wonder if what is this database? Dalek SQLite. I see now. Yes, the SQLite database with the app for the static data, including where all the stations are uh, on the map, and some other good stuff too. Um, so this is in the database, which makes sense. However, what is not in code is we don't have our new path directions. Path to NJ, path to NY. Let's go ahead and define those, because then the code is not able to parse the values in the database. Path Tony. And path Tony G. We got that right? Yep. Okay, and then let's run it again. Compilation error. Oh, yes, this is why I love when statements and which statements. It just tells you when you forgot to update something. So we have the idea of the label as path_g, but what do we want to display in the UI? We just want to say Tony, I guess. Oh, I guess this is tone J, and we'll do Tony on the next line. And why is this? Oh, because it's expecting a. These are integers. This is the way that Android handles localization. What I need to do is actually put these strings next to these strings in the string resources. So let's command click on over. And let's go ahead and add these two here. Name equals underway function label Tony. Tony, and then also path tone J. Then we can go back to our string loader. I guess this is r.string.toneJ, and this one is r.string introduction label path Tony. Okay, let's try building again. Installation of Noxid seed insufficient storage. Device needs more free storage. But I just made this. And install. This is a fresh emulator. Okay, well, deleting it worked. Nice. So now it is now it loads the view. However, there's no data left, no data in there. We'll do that in the next task, the API call. But we had path disabled, and it's still the tap still went through. So that's the purpose of this task here. But that was a nice little piece. So let's commit that, because that is important. Yeah, in the database, we just have kind of the idea of these instruction labels, and then the client apps themselves have the localized strings and all that. Capitalize this. And I guess we can say Android at the top here. Let's commit and push. Cool. So once again, with feeling, let's see if we can get this filtering to work. So let's close a bunch of tabs. And the function I'm looking for is, well, I guess we can just go to the MTA map activity and take it from there. Let's optimize imports. And oh, we got some commented out code. Let's delete that. We have the tapping map view. So this is a wrapper around. Oh, I don't import it here. It's a wrapper around a zooming map view that I found for Android. Let's see, so this is where I do the when a tap happens, I hit the database and see if there's a what's it called an intersection. Let's go ahead and click into that location ID intersecting, and this maps pretty closely to what we do on iOS. And here's the longitude latitude, which is I guess the other half of it. So I guess what we kind of want to do here is, yeah, this ends up being kind of annoying on iOS. I ended up writing some custom SQL to handle this, but we need to sort of pass down, for starters, we need to pass down the set of um, active transit systems are stored in the preferences. And I guess we can kind of refresh ourselves with, so how are we doing this for the dock position? We set it to be the left-hand side, or we set it to be the right-hand side. It updates right away. You kind of want to have that same behavior with the path. That's what we did for iOS. Where are we checking the preferences? Is it in this activity or is it in a helper class of this activity? So there's this function to update the dock positions. And it looks like, let's see, who is calling this? Just on resume. Oh, so it's not listening. It's not listening to a change of preferences. Just whenever this this activity resumes, it updates the dock position if it needs to. On resume is close to in spirit to view will appear for iOS. Okay, so I guess what we can do is, I guess how far do I want to let folks reach in? Let's see. On single, do I have a reference to the preferences? Only because this is where the refresh read timer task goes, which is one of the preferences. Maybe you want to turn off auto refresh. That's an option. Save your data. Yeah, I guess it's just somewhere that has a context is the main thing. So here in the map activity, uh, I guess this says access to a context. Does the tapping at view, does this have, this has a context as well. So we could do it from here. You could say map tap result, and pass in the set of active transit systems. You could say something like transit system dot load from shared preferences dot, what was the exact call? Get, default. Get default shared preferences, pass in context. It's multiples. That does not really look like multiples to me, but the import's not doing anything. Oh, I did shared preferences, but it's supposed to be preference manager. Okay. Which apparently you can remove the redundant qualifier. Tomato, tomato, I guess. Let's see. So I guess it turns out we kind of are going to use this method. It's just that we're going to interpret the Boolean version to get the set of active transit systems. So I guess we'll comment this bit out and we'll say shared preferences dot get Boolean for is path enabled preference key. And else. So I guess if it's the error here, no value parameter passed to P1. I guess is the default going to be false, I guess. Is there a union? There is. And then this will tell me to lift. Okay. And then now that we have that loaded out of the preferences, we can pass it down to the database so it knows which ones to include and exclude. Something else was in my paste buffer. Cool. Then let's change parameter. No, not of longitude. Create member. No. Extension function. No. Whatever happened to add parameter? Make a set of transit systems. And I guess we'll kind of keep passing this down. This gets a location ID that intersects a point. Yeah, so let's look at this query on iOS. I remember it being kind of a doozy to write. Let's not start up Xcode though. Let's just use Nova. Yes, this is going to be in the I don't remember the name of the file, but I know where it is. Let's go ahead and just navigate to it. It's there. So this is what we have. Um, let's copy this over to Android and think about it there. So comment it out. And man, need a little bit more room here. Oh yeah, interesting. Yeah. Um, well, I guess that's actually pretty similar. Okay. I think the uh, work I just remembered is actually going to be on the GPS location, uh, not this part. Let's see, is there a nice capitalized function here? Capitalize. We have a table in our SQLite database, all the transit systems that are at um, each map location. We will format it like that. And we don't want to select star, we just need a few of these. We don't need to filter by the map because we haven't added the night map yet to Android. And then we have this last little bit here. Um, so here we say which transit systems we're currently enabled. We want to pass these in. You can see we did a little bit of hand-rolled hand rolling there, putting in a few question marks as needed. Um, and how do we want to do that? Um, maybe transit system question marks can be the variable name. This will be a string. And see what we can do here. Iterate or map. Oh, it's what is it? It's like join to string, and you can also like transform here. Um, yeah, we just want a couple question marks separated by commas. We can just drop that straight in there. And are we compiling? It looks like it. And can we append? think it's plus. Then we can plus the transit systems, maybe? Is set not a collection type? That looks like a collection. So what is the problem? None of the following functions can be called with the arguments supplied. Create array plus. Maybe if I make this array list of, then I can add and then convert it to an array afterwards. Oh, this doesn't return. Okay. Let's make an args. Args equals an array list of args add all transit systems card collection. Oh, these have to be strings. Oh my god. Okay. Dot map it dot raw value. So was that the problem before? I guess we can try again. The array of plus, and then we'll say this bit here. Oh, okay, that works. It is a little bit long, so I will keep the variable outside. Pass the args in at the end, like that. And then we can format this a little bit nicer. Comment. Okay, so let's see if it works. Let's make the emulator a little bigger. So we have path system enabled, so we should be able to click through to it. Can I, well, let's see, if I turn it off, maybe it's just in a bad state. Turn it off and on. Did I get it backwards? If I turn it off, does it work? Yes, okay. I had it backwards. Okay. Yes, I had it strictly backwards. Now we should be good. But we showed that it worked, even though we had it backwards. So that feels good. That feels like progress. We have it. Path is off. So we cannot hit on Christopher Street, but we can hit the other stations nearby. And then if we turn the path on, see them. Cool. So that's the first half of that task. So commit that. Android filter taps based on enabled systems. Now let's do the second half. Basically, it's going to be the exact same thing, but for locate me. Where does locate me think I am right now? Think about West 4th Street, or is it just not working at all? It's not Canal Street. If I move away from Canal Street, does it work again? Is it just slow, or what? Oh, is it because I did allow once? Whoops. um, if I restart the app, do I get a second try there? Oh no. um, how can I select privacy? The location. On iOS this is super annoying, so I don't mind this being annoying on oh my god. I don't mind this being annoying on Android, but it's still annoying. Maybe somewhere in settings. Oh my god. Are you going to a website? Oh, it restarted the emulator. It's the joy of coding, the joy of creating. I guess that's a little sarcastic. Just a little bit. I do really love this though. Is the emulator going to spin endlessly like it did the other time earlier today? Maybe let's do no filters. It is going, not a lot going on. Try closing it and swapping back to the other emulator. Maybe that one's feeling. Wow, the swapping the emulator really does something. Oh, we saw the same problem. Really does something to the headphones. I guess you saw me wince there. Cannot install. Okay, so we're still having that problem here. Nice. Okay. Let's swap back to the emulator we had working earlier. Ooh. You remember when the iPhone simulator messed with your sound? That was like summer of 2020, right when everyone had to be on Zoom for the first time. Waiting for all target devices to come online. Yeah, come on online. This emulator is not looking promising. One more go, and then I guess we'll try making a new emulator again. It's kind of back into that spinning state. No debuggable promises, no filters, but nothing happening either. Device manager. Let's delete these. And let's make sure it does cold boot. And let's run it, I guess. Okay, looks like it started up. Let's run our app. Okay, the app has started up. Let's try and locate. And where does it think I am? Now, again, is this just slow or is it not working? Um, I don't see anything about locate me happening. Uh, Perhaps locate me is broken. What did I call it? I call it location service or something. It did. Maybe this is like out of date or something. Android location, not location. What is this fused thing anyway? Oh, this comes from Google. Okay. So it still will work, right? Let's see. Who calls this location service? This is a singleton, so it should stick around. Let's try making this just a regular context week. Then I guess let's get it here. What's the issue here? Do not place Android context classes in static fields. This is a memory leak. Oh, I guess that's why I did it the first time. Okay. But then why is it not working? Okay. If we have to go to the Google. Perhaps let's see, save shall appear here. Okay, can I tell it we're in New York? Location. So we have a location set. So now if I locate me, I'm not getting anything. Let's restart the app. Locate me. Hmm. So I guess there's two things. We can go forward with the implementation and kind of hope it works, or perhaps we need to kind of debug what's going on with our locate me. Um, Perhaps we should print some breakpoints. Let's run it in debug mode. Okay, well, we're getting some breakpoints, so we're not just endlessly spinning. This feels a little better. So can I evaluate this? How do I do that in this game? Console? Order? Print? No, I need to do that. Evaluate expression. This is what I was looking for. Anyway, I guess it was true because it came down to the next breakpoint. Um, well, I guess I don't want to evaluate anymore. Continue going. So we did get a location somewhere in the world. Um, So then, interesting. So we're about to call the callback, but we're not getting anything in our, let's see, where's this, where's the output of this? See, if we search for location service, on the map interactor, yeah, so let's put breakpoints here and then run. So here we are trying to locate what's nearest this station, 37122. Actually, yeah, let's put this into Google. Let's see where we are on the map. Maps.google.com, and we type in a type in and along. So something's for in Mountain View. I guess I guess that's why result is null, because this is not in New York at all. Okay, well, we have our answer at least. Um, okay, so let's stop debugging, or play through this. How do I set this to be my location? Wait, that's in Texas? Save point. I see two. Okay, yeah, let's delete this one. Okay, so we're in Manhattan. We're not in. Okay, set location. And let's locate. Okay, these are coming through. This is fine. We're at our callback. And we're back in San Jose. Um, what? What the hell? And of course, result is null again. So how do I set my location? Okay, Android emulator, set location, not working. Oh, I didn't want to click on add. Solution. You launched the emulator. Oh my god. What is this? Uh, Android emulator set location. Okay, so this is the view that we were just on. emulator console. It only has like one upvote though. Okay, I think we're just gonna have to write the code and kind of trust that it works because emulator is not working. So here we'll do the same thing. We'll ask for the transit systems and pass those along. This will be the set of transit systems. Then delegates down to, I guess, can we command click on it? Is that going to help? It does. Cool. A transit systems. Cool. So then how did we do this for iOS? I guess it's kind of a slightly different query here. We just added a join. Okay. And I guess we had a also this table in here as well. Oh, we're doing a there's also a subselect that's doing some stuff. And for Android, we're doing it all in Kotlin. Okay, so it's going to be slightly different, but add this join in as well. I need to look at the database, see what this field is. TFS stop ID. Stop ID. I guess we can kind of fake it by inserting our own latitude and longitude in the location service. Doesn't feel good, but I guess that's one way we can kind of test it. Let's see. So those are the joins. Maybe we'll add this in a little bit. Um, just selecting the stop ID. I feel like we also want the location ID because it returns, yeah, location ID at the end. Um, what does it do with the stop ID? Oh, it loads a bunch of candidates and then it puts them distances and then it loads the location by ID as a separate query. I see. Okay, so what else do we have in iOS? And we have that and and the last join here. And let's copy this from the other method. And then we do want to pass some arguments in, and we can copy that also from the other method. To array, maybe to typed array. Cool. Looks like we're not compiling, so let's see what the problem is. We need to update the interfaces for this stuff. I guess this needs the transit systems passed in. And then I guess the kind of the brains of this screen needs to know the current preferences. It would be nice if this had access to the context or access to. I guess the interactor can be um, initialized with the context, or better yet, initialized with instead of passing in the transit systems, it could have its own access to the preferences, and it could compute it itself. I think I like that approach a little bit better. Perfect. Yeah, that's exactly what I was expecting. Is it preferences manager? So then this would be oh, this needs to be a shared preference. Okay. Then the compiler will tell us where to fix it next. Yep, here we go. What is it? It's preference manager get default. Yeah, here we go. Yes. Oh, there's some problem with the location services. Let's go ahead and oh, we haven't added latitude, longitude for path trains yet, actually. Um, I guess we do want to just kind of test that everything else is still working. So let's go to the application service. Instead of sending back last location, let's copy this value. Oh, come on. Oh, uh, I have a sample version right here. Um, Here we go. So now if we locate, let's write Jackson Heights, so it still works. Assuming that location services are turned on correctly, it works. Cool. So Android is now filtering taps for locate me as well. So in the same way that we did the filtering for taps, we updated the SQL, and that was fine. We got a lot done today. Not as much as I was hoping to. The emulator did have Android emulator was not helpful today, and it just sat there spinning and not loading when it wouldn't install the application. We ended up deleting 2 emulators and making 2 new ones, and of course the location wasn't working as well. But I guess next time we'll work on the API call. We got the new settings screen done. We have the new option to turn on path system or leave it off. Do the filtering on the map as we just talked about. Next is the API call. I stream every weekday from 2 o'clock New York time till 4. And if I'm really close, sometimes I go just a little bit over, like today. Yeah, it's a lot of fun sharing my love of coding live with you all. Thanks so much for watching. If you want to find out more about me, my website is fullqdeveloper.com with links to my GitHub, my apps on the App Store or on Google Play. Also, my YouTube has past episodes if you ever missed one. My Discord to stay in touch, and I post my app ideas in there too in the subscriber only channel. Finally, my Twitter has updates for the stream and my Ko-Fi if you want to support directly. Yeah, have a good morning, evening, or night wherever you are. Thanks again.